Welcome back. Let's look at the steps to help you safely implement your career change. If we look at the triggers where we came from, you've selected your career change triggers. They were one or more of the following. Urgent changes, you need money, the job sucks, that happens. My company downsized, especially the moment that happened. I want to change because I'm not paid enough, people frustrate me, I feel trapped. Normally that goes with one of the first category. The last one, number 3, we have a restless, itchy feeling. The job is starting to bore you, which means you are on top of the job. You need more challenges. It's not exciting. You're not excited to go to work in the morning. Or in that great space where we have a few people we coach, they have too many choices. So if we look at what happened to Narette, we thought best that Narette tells how she chose her triggers. And the overview of the triggers, you've chosen 3 of them.
I chose, I need more money, I feel trapped, and I need more challenges.
Narette needed to get rid of the fears that is in the perceived boxes. She needs to move from the unknown to the known and get clear career aims, as every one of us must do. She started looking at tasks which started to clarify objectives, and we are on our way towards developing a career vision and a career mission very clearly. If we then look back at a career action guide to implement your midlife career change, we now reviewed the triggers, summarizing Narette's triggers. She needs more money, she feels trapped, and she needs more challenges. The processes are very similar for any one of the triggers. She had to look at these, and you will notice she actually chose one by coincidence out of each of the 3 categories. That's very important, that the categories don't have to limit you at all. If you then look, just saying again, she needed to explore and get more options. She then needed to prepare those options and then select and engage companies and people. So she clearly needed the actions. Narette clearly required actions to make the unknown known so that all fears can disappear, making the next action obvious. She needs the job so much, she needs the money so much, which you will hear her say later, that she's very scared to take any risks. So the risks must be clear, safe, and not jeopardize her current job. In the discussions, we must make sure that from a very young age, she projects a very clear indication of how she arrived at decisions. We often call it the golden thread, but you can call it any name, but it overcomes any career changes, any appearance of uncertainty. Clearly, you made the decisions consistently. She's now developing very powerful stories, because a story tells so much easier on top of a resume. And that's why you will notice elsewhere on the site, we really push the issue of stories. If you then look at a signed commitment, it's very important that you commit to yourself. Narette took some care before she committed, but she really did commit that she deserves a great career, she deserves fun, she deserves to earn more. So she captured lots of notes, because she used the notes to discuss with other people. So we make a big issue of capturing notes. The aim is to develop that dynamic, quick action plan that puts you into action quickly to suit your urgent needs. The next case we will share with you, the person was in a situation where the change had to happen in 1 week. Now, we were very fortunate the change happened in 1 week. So if you look through the notes, I want to stand still at the resume mentality. We will share Narette's original resume, and we'll then share her new resume. And I think that is the best way to demonstrate and show what we mean by a change of resume. So if you then look at what happened, she's now preparing her story so that everybody she knows and the people they know can look out for opportunities. She's now in phase 2, step 2, and she already has the first indications of engagement and offers. So let us get started and see what happened to Narette and see what the process is all about. So you're going to create, Narette created a plan in the 3 action steps. She explored, and that was pretty tough in her case because it really wasn't clear what she wanted to do or do next. She had to organize it, which is now done, and she's now engaging companies where she wants to work. Now, we had so many cases of people getting jobs because they go to the company with a clear offer, and then the company make a space for them. So if we look at our quick recap that we did with Narette, going back to the purpose, and we look at your role in business, if you are clear, like these 2 last cases now are clear, they could go to a company and say, this is how we will help at executive level, this is how the shareholders will get a return, this is my role in the team, and this is how my value makes sure that the clients come shopping and pay more. It is critical that people with confidence understand how their value benefits everybody very clearly, as we indicated in the trigger documents. That process, more than any, help people actually break these perceived boxes, these perceived prisons, totally apart and come out very confidently and safely. If we then look, Narette was especially, and the next case as well, very unhappy with how the company operated, their culture, their acknowledgement of people's production. It turns out they very quickly understood that if they understand the rules of the game, understand where they can make and how to make decisions, the culture didn't matter. They are on their own road. Narette and the next case we will share with you discovered amazing new options they were just not aware of. And as it became known, they became extremely excited that they can actually have the job that gives them fun. So if we then look back at a career action plan, if we then look back at a career action plan, the first step then is to explore and discover. Now let's look what happened to Narette. I'm just going to share the results. She realized that she loves challenges. However, she has this very interesting thing that it must be clear, it must have meaning, and she wants to do it creatively her way, and she wants independence. Now that looked like quite a challenge. However, once she started saying why she enjoys it, she loves finding challenging situations where the communication of messages, the communication of training situations, of communication to stakeholders in projects really intrigues and excites her. And all of those she can do independently, creatively, just like under what kind of work. Now we obviously considered the skills she already has in this process for next choices. She could then define a message that says any project group, company situation where she gets involved, because the communication gets totally clarified, people buy in, they contribute more. And when she walks to people with a message and to say, your production will increase because the message is clear, people understood and buy into the mission and the vision of the project, training, company, clearly that makes a huge contribution. So that was very exciting. So now all that remains, she had to practice this message. Now the best place to practice, fortunately, she have good friends and family and trusted colleagues. And she's now practicing with them, and I can see the message to the employer grow very rapidly. Very interesting, one situation that came up, it seems very easy for her to get contract employment, which allows her all kinds of other growth opportunities, but a bit more risk, and she's playing with the 2 options. So after she spoke to people, she's now clarifying her message. She's starting to put a message out on places like LinkedIn, and she's putting it out directly to companies that she's targeting. Now, in the next case, as I say, we'll publish for you. We had to do it in a week, which was challenging, and even delayed this message. So if we then go through the action guide, which you can comfortably do, we end up with step 3, where she's now in a situation where in the next 10 days, she will communicate to her identified places of work of choice. And what is extremely interesting, in the company she works in a moment, there's one of the greatest options in another department where she would like to work with the people. There's some situations there that makes her uncertain, so we are looking at more options. But it is interesting that she found an option with her existing employer just because she changed what she wants to do, why she wants to do it, and what it means to the other party. And it really works every time fantastically. She's then going to communicate it to the chosen people, telling them what she can do for them with confidence and reference. And as such, so she can communicate to them with confidence why, what she wants to do, and what it means to them. So now she needs to find a time to implement all of this. So we looked closely around her, how she can delegate some of the work that other people really want to do to grow them. She looked at some situations where she's been doing things because she had open time, and she's now cautiously stepping out of that. Those 2 items will give her the time that she needs to implement her action plan. It's not always that easy to find a time, but we've never failed yet to help people find the time. At the end of the action plan, we leave you with some thoughts on how to go about this, and we'll share that in the next case study in more depth, and we will also share each of the elements with you in separate videos in more depth. We just chose some items out of the long list. Obviously, in time, as you go through your levels of change, there's much more to share with you, how you grow each component as and when you need it situationally. We grow best when we grow a new skill because we need it right now and the payback is clear. So our whole model means that you can come back and ask questions, and we'll grow you in your specific situation at that time when we get to know one another a little better. Lastly, I would just like to summarize the process for you. So if we go back to our slides and we just look at the process of implementing the career. If we just look at the process summarizing implementing your midlife career change. Obviously, we got to get out of the perceived career boxes, overcome any fear, failure, risk. Like in Aret's case now, the threat of losing her job when people know she's looking around. So we've managed that very cautiously. So we had to overcome the fears and the failure. You remember, fear just stands for false evidence appearing real. Fail stands for first attempt in learning, or next attempt in learning, if you like. So know what you do, prepare and engage. You can clearly see how Naret did that. Her assets got absolutely clarified so that she knows which companies can use her current skills best while she grows the skills she wants to add. The resources out there, she now realized there's so much resources she has a problem choosing. The same process, building your staircase while you climb it and losing all your fears. So again, she explored, she's preparing, she's engaging, and she's cautiously aligning job, industry, company, and work, job, and career. And she will stay in line with insight, knowing with confidence what she can do for other people, why she do it, and how she will do it. I hope this makes sense to you, and that we'll see you soon as you arrive into the great spaces. So moving from the box to the great space with safety and certainty. So we have gone through the steps. I just want to summarize again. Knowing, preparing, and engaging. I thank you so much. I hope we'll meet up with you soon, and I hope you stay signed up and watch out for the next case and the next modules on the Career Action Plan. Thank you so much.